Welcome to Tech Talks, Evolving Distribution. I'm Corey Hayes, and with me is Bill Rosado. Today, we're exploring how digital transformation is reshaping the distribution industry.
That's right. From e-commerce platforms to CRM tools, we talk with industry experts about how distribution can embrace these changes and thrive in the ever-changing space.
Whether you're just getting started or looking for new insights, we've got you covered. Today's episode is packed with information to help you navigate the digital shift.
So let the tech talk begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tech Talks. Whatever time you're tuning in, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. As always, Corey Hayes here alongside Bill Rosado. Bill, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful day, and we have a very special guest part of the conversation today. Jeff, remind me your last name, Jeff.
Gural.
Gural. Okay, I knew I was going to mess it up. So,
No, it's okay, man.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Thanks for being a part. Where are you coming from?
I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So center of Canada, northern hemisphere, cold in the winter and hot in the summer.
It kind of sounds like Southern Illinois. But anyways,
Actually, some people consider Winnipeg like a Chicago before the boom.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it's funny, like I have a lot of friends in Canada, right? And there's such a misnomer that Canada is like frozen like 12 months a year. People don't realize that you do get hot in the summer.
Oh, yeah. We're only frozen 3.5 months a year, right? And then the rest of it is perfect. It's absolutely
only frozen 3.5 months. That's it.
Yeah. But you get used to it. It's better than being wet, because if you're on the coast, you're wet during the winter months. I'd rather be cold any day than wet.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being a part of the conversation today. Going to go through a little bit just about MEP Brothers' digital transformation and just get your take on that. But before that, why don't you just introduce yourself to the audience? Tell us a little bit about your business, what your passion is, and what got you to where you are today.
For sure. We're in the hose, rubber, fittings, and spill response business. My brother and I took it over 7 years ago, but I've been working here for 15 years. We started off as an environmental company. It was called MEP Environmental. We ran a branch. And then at the time, my dad and his partner were running it, and they needed a consumable over and over and over again, because spill response is so seasonal. And going back to that, how it's frozen during the winter, you're not getting any spills in the winter. If it spills on the snow, nobody's reporting anything. We're not cleaning anything up. So we would have huge lulls in our business cycle. And it was the seasonality it was too much. So we were looking for a consumable. We found this company called Brothers Industrial. It specialized in rubber, hose, and fittings. And that seemed to be the answer, right? Everybody in that MRO world, or anybody in that agricultural or automotive or OEM for that matter, there's a hose in everything. You look in your house, you look at a dentist's office, there's a hose everywhere, right? So it was perfect. It provided day-to-day sales, and then we would get that boom from the spill response during the summer and spring and fall months.
Yeah.
We grew pretty quick, so much so that we had to move into a new building. So we took both businesses, combined them, moved them to our Century location, which is right next to the airport, which is perfect for logistics. And then we doubled year after year after year after year. And the way we did that was through a Continental Star training course that my brother and I took. I kept telling my brother, go sell environmental, because that's what I knew. That's what we were doing. And he said, Jeff, there's something in this hose business. We got to dig a little deeper. I said, well, let's go to this Conti Star training. So we went to Conti Star training, and we were the only ones asking questions, right? And I said, Jamie, you're right. This is right. This is a young man's game now. All these, no disrespect, all these old dudes, they think they know the way it is, and they're still doing things the old way. All we got to do is listen to these guys and follow that path that they're laying for us. And then sure enough, we can go ahead. So from there, my brother would bring business to me, and he would say, organize this, right? Bring more. So we'd go after tank truck hose business. He would bring it back and say, I need you to set it up. I said, well, now we need a test bench. Now we need to integrate serial tracking. We need a cloud base so that we can monitor and document and database everyone's information. Then he'd bring the chemical hose business. Well, we need a special cam lock for that. We need special registered number, steam hose. Got to get CRN, which is Canadian registered number. We got to get CSA on it. Want to do curb pump hose. Okay, now we got to get a UL assembly certification on that. How are we going to log that? How are we going to document that? Are we going to print labels? Are we going to print them as we go? Are we going to, you know what I mean? And everything just kind of snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. So I love my brother. He and I work really, really well together. We argue all the time, but it's only good things ever came out of it, right? And it just seemed like it was just shelf after, plateau after plateau after incline, right? And that's the way it went. And eventually we said, okay, let's buy another hose company. So we bought Fluids in Motion, Wagner. And then we got to that point now where we just recently, we got bought out by a company called Singer Equities or Singer Industrial. And it's a group of companies just like ours. So there's 104 or 105 now. And they're all cool dude companies, like I like to say, that run business the same way. We want to talk to customers. We don't want to, you know what I mean? We don't need an email response. It's hands-on, it's day-to-day. And we're all the same, and we all go to work every day, and we want to get it done. And it worked really well for us. And, we're invested in that company as well, right? They let us do our thing, and we continue on the path that we're going. And we're going together, and we have their expertise behind us, which is, you can't put a value on it. It's unbelievable. And then, through all those kind of tumbleweeds as it's rolling down the highway or snowball, right? As it's getting bigger and bigger as it goes down the hill, you gotta adjust your platforms and your operating systems, right? So we started on QuickBooks, and the problem with QuickBooks is it doesn't speak to many things, right? It can't communicate very well with other programs. So when we had a website, it was purely marketing. Maybe I think it was 25 pages, and I remember sitting in my little condo downtown. And populating it myself day after day after day. So I would go to this website, copy the image, put it in a file, upload it, right? We use WordPress. So it was just very, just daunting, just redundant. Just every day I'm just sitting there going, all hours of the night, right? All hours of the night. And then we finally hired a website. We got a kid out of one of the local colleges to do it for us. We were looking to invest about $70,000. And then we said, well, why buy a website and then have someone else manage it for us when we can manage it ourselves and pay that guy 45 or 50 grand a year to manage it, right? And then as we evolve, he's going to just evolve it with us, and he's going to change it for us. So we ran that format for about 5 years. And again, we achieved e-commerce. We got it, but it was just very complicated, right? The business we're in is really, really complicated to begin with. A lot of people call it Amazon proof because you need people with, and no disrespect, some brains in their head to operate it, right? It's just, that's the way it is. It's not just mouthwash or deodorant, right? Or some kid's toy. It's, this guy wants a hose, it's 36 inches and he doesn't know the thread on one end and he knows the thread on this end, right? He's got to bring that in. We got to talk to him. Or at least if he puts it through the website, we can provide the feedback back instantly, right? So we said to ourselves, okay, if we're going to go to the next level, then we need a new ERP system. So we were looking at P21 for a while. And the reason we're looking at P21 is because it seems to be the distribution king for the most part, right? If you're in the hose business, it seems to understand the patterns, the fluctuations in inventory, what you need. There's formulas that go behind it, because in QuickBooks, all you have is a min-max system. You can print data usage, but good luck getting that thing to print when you have 46,000 SKUs. It cashes out. It can't keep up. It just says no, and it's done. And then it freezes, right? So we approached Epicor, and then midway through that, I said, look, we're going to need a website to go with this. What do you have that just communicates completely with it? And they said, call Aldrich. It was just like that. First thing they said. So I called Bill. Bill sold the crap out of me on it, and here we are today. That's all there was to it, and it is perfect. It's unbelievable how cool it is. I think the only drawback I see is that the website doesn't recognize assembly by components through P21, which is you have to set a list price and a cost, and if your customer can log in through the website, it'll show you their discounts. But for example, if it's an assembly by components, which means it's going to take the value of all those components, roll it up, and then mark it up to the customer, you don't get that advantage. You have to set that list price for it to discount off or cost up, right? It's not there yet, but I'm sure you guys will figure it out. AI's out there now. I'm sure you're talking to it every day. It's telling you, you look beautiful today, right?
AI is a liar.
Will come out of it. But yeah, so I mean, and that's where we're at now. My brother runs outside sales. I still organize things for him on the inside. We got a great staff. Everyone's been here for 7+ years, right? We have little turnover. We have a lot of good. We just have fun. Come to work and have fun every day. And and now we're here. So thanks for having me. I've never done anything like this. I don't even watch podcasts. So yeah, man.
All good. Well,
what do you want to know?
First podcast you'll watch, you'll be on. That's not too shabby, right? So, well, it sounds like you have just within the last few years. I mean, doubling every year to year is tremendous. That's awesome. Sounds like you've had a lot of success, and you've also had a lot of moving pieces with purchasing companies, and then also being bought out by Singer. So really, just kind of as a blanket question. What challenges have you seen? You've already talked about this a little bit, but what challenges have you seen in a digital transformation project, especially with so many moving pieces and trying to get everybody to talk the same language and to be effective?
Well, expectations is number one, right? You got to live on planet Earth. That's all there is to it, right? And if it's something that you can see that you can work with, and you can see that at the end it's going to be what you think it's going to be, then continue that way. But if you see it right away, like this isn't working, bail, get out, because it's not going to work for you, right? There's so many things that are either very rigid and you have to stay within those parameters, right? Like input this here or do this here. This slider does that, when talking about websites, for example, right? Or there's some that are very versatile and dynamic and they'll do what you do. So, I mean, for us, it was, okay, QuickBooks doesn't talk to anyone, right? You have to buy a third party that attaches to this, and it's less money, but then you're going to need to buy this program and that program and that program and that program. And by then, like, what are we doing here, right? What are we doing here? You got to find things that know how to talk to each other. Everything is language, right? You go to law school to learn how to speak law. You know what I mean? You become a mathematician to learn how to speak math, right? So why are you talking to some high school kid who's going to build you a website when you're in the business of hose rubber fittings? You need to talk to somebody who can speak hose rubber fittings in a website or online content format, right? Yeah. And that was Aldrich right away. It was awesome. Yeah. And I don't know what you guys do like outside of P21. Is it just P21 that you?
We mainly just hang out and have a good time. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
No, we do have a couple other ERP integrations, but P21 is for 20 years. That's where we lived, and that's where we're still living, right? With so many hundreds of.
So if I'm going to learn P21, I want my teacher to speak P21. That's all there is to it, right? Yeah. So that's what I would say. If you're going to go learn Spanish, make sure you're speaking to someone from Mexico or Spain, you know what I mean? Or any of those other Latin countries, right? Like don't be going to France.
Yeah.
We were in a conference last month or so. We went to New Orleans and went to a conference, and they had a keynote speaker, and he was talking about projects. So 3 parts: why they aren't on time, why they're not on budget, and why they're not effective. Right. And one of the biggest things is exactly what you said, Jeff. So he said out of all 3 of those, it's less than 1%, like hit all 3 of those. And the biggest key to the ones that are hitting all 3 was hiring someone that is educated and understands the project.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's not somebody that's going to, I can do that project for you. We do that. Right. It does make a huge difference.
Exactly. We already do it. That's crucial. Right. It's already there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of have already answered this in a nutshell, but if you have another take on it, feel free to take your own stab at this. But what makes for a successful project? What have you seen successes in, and what has gone right and gone well for you?
Setup is everything, right? You don't want to do things 14 times. So I'll go back to when I was working on the first website. I would do it item by item by item by item. And then in 2 weeks, I'd find out, I could have just loaded everything into Excel and dropped it in, right? I didn't have anyone there to guide me. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then even when we had a professional on site working for us and doing that work, everything was in Excel. And then it was populate. Whereas I could have just called the manufacturer and said, hey, here's the PIM data, right? And then just dropped it in and away we go, which is where we're at now. A lot of the stuff I still go by item by item by item because I don't have the advantage my brother and the other outside sales guys or the inside sales guys for that matter have day to day, because they're learning about the experiences and the troubleshooting and the problems that these customers have. So they're learning about the product all the time. This is the only way for me to keep up with those guys is, okay, what is this new product? We're adding it to the site. What is it? What are the specs, right? So as I'm populating all this, I'm picking it up at the same time, right? So, I mean, it's got to be set up. You've got to set up everything because you're going to lose so much time. Like I would say we wasted 2 years on our first 2 websites for sure. And we weren't getting any traction out of it, right? We get maybe 50 users a month. They couldn't order on the site either, right? So it's all set up, all set up. Where are we and where are we going? How do we get there, right?
Yeah, that's great.
So after you went to P21 and you went to the Aldrich platform, what did changed as far as you weren't getting any users to
our business as a whole is more organized because of P21. We didn't even know what a pick ticket was when we bought P21, and it took us 2 years to get set up. We didn't do any training or we didn't turn it on, but I had some Yahoo IT guy who kept telling me he was waiting on a server, and he was a friend of one of the old owners, so we were cool about it, right? Well, it turns out he had the server the whole time. He didn't know what he was doing, right? So we got a real IT company to come in. In a day, everything started to work all of a sudden. We didn't have any crashes or anything, right? So then we said, okay, it's time to turn P21 on. And we just turned it on. We didn't do any training or anything. We just turned it on, and we had one of their consultants, third-party consultants, fly out and meet us on site. And he even said, guy from Virginia, awesome dude, says, what do you mean you don't have training? I said, well, that's why you're here. And he goes, no. You're supposed to spend about a year doing templates and load this, load that. So we figured out P21 in 2 weeks because we had him come out in 1 week. And then we had an actual Epicor representative, another girl, awesome girl too, come out. And she was there the second week. And even she said, like, what are y'all doing here? They said, this is crazy, right? But we figured it out. Yeah, like we didn't even know what a pick ticket was, right? We had sales orders, you know what I mean? And then now pick ticket, we can trace things. We have an automation to that. So it prints out on a schedule. When stuff gets received, it automates and shoots out the pick ticket on what's available. We never had any of that, right? QuickBooks is so limited. It's for Bitcoin jobbers and lawnmower companies. Like they just need like a one-line invoice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
it's just totally revolutionized our business. Everything is so much simpler and it makes so much sense. And then the data that goes in, it comes out, right? Because, and what I like to see, and forgive me for saying this, but it's truly a shit in, shit out program, right? If you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. So it almost forces you to take a second look and go, okay, wait a minute. We got to put the right stuff in here if we're going to get the right stuff out. And it's every day we see something new and something different that we can do. It's so cool. Yeah.
Well, I gotta ask, this is completely out of left field, but you impersonated that guy from Virginia. And is that how Americans sound to Canadians?
No, that's how Virginians sound. Yeah. It all depends where you're from. It's all different accents, right? I wish I could do justice, but yeah. Well, I'm sure they say the same thing about Canadians. I lie, do poutine and a boot and all that, right?
Oh, goodness.
I love it, man. It's good.
Well, this will be our most entertaining podcast by far. So
no one else did impersonations, so you
We don't get a call from my boss to say, "What the hell?"
That's funny.
He's not from Virginia.
I say, is your boss from Virginia?
No, he's from Pittsburgh. Good dude.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. All right. So last question here. You've said a lot of good stuff. This may even be an opportunity for you to recap, but again, just however you want to take this. What is that big tip, that one big thing that you would give companies that are looking to embark on a journey? So when I ask this question, I tell who I'm asking it to, think back to when you were starting, think back to when you were experiencing all that growth. And in the middle of those challenges, what's one thing you could wish you could go back and tell your past self?
I would tell you to slow down, but then you wouldn't make the mistakes to learn the things that you needed to learn, So yeah, I probably wouldn't do it any different, to tell you the truth. And that's life in general. It's been really good to me. So yeah, I would maybe just choose your allies a little more closer, right? A little more wisely, and maybe do a little bit of digging. And then when you start to feel like, as soon as you get really into your business, and I don't want to sound self-indulgent on this, but you can kind of feel it. Like, you know when it's slow, you know when something's not right, or a person's not feeling good at work, or they're not happy or whatever, right? Follow that. Yeah. Because 90% of the time it's the truth.
Follow your instincts. Yeah.
Follow your instincts. Yeah. So if you think, well, this isn't working, there's a good chance it's not going to work out in the end anyways, no matter what you put into it. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's really cool, Jeff, because we've seen that in a lot of these conversations, that even though this is a digital transformation podcast, and that's the conversation we have, a lot of guys that are in your position talk about the human aspect and the human instinct, and really understanding the layers of relationship that come with that digital transformation. So I think that's great. Follow your instincts. So,
and I hope that you feel that we were a good ally.
Well, you were the worst.
No,
absolute. Yeah, I felt like you put a pair of concrete shoes and threw me in the river. That's it sunk at the bottom.
Oh, goodness.
No, man, it was awesome. It couldn't have gone any better. We were probably the longest adoption you've probably ever seen, because I think we were with you for over a year and a half to get online, right? And that was all because we were waiting on Yahoo computer IT guy who kept telling us, we know what's going on, but he didn't know. You know what I mean? So again, you got to trust. And you gotta, something ain't right. You feel it. It probably ain't right.
Yeah.
Bill was killer. We had, I forget his name, and the lady. Every day we met almost, and I don't remember their names. I'm sorry, but they were so awesome.
Yeah.
So positive all the time, because they'd always say, "What do you have for us today?" And we're like, "Well, we have nothing." Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
it's really cool, because if you were to do that same thing at Walmart, that lady would be like, "What are you doing here again?" You know what I mean? Like, it was just completely different. It was awesome.
I remember being on your implementation team when things started to shift and things started to change for the better. And I mean, you could feel it in the room. I could feel it when I talked to you, that there was a lot of good things happening. So yeah, glad that momentum was there. Glad it seems like it's continuing, and we're very honored to be your partner. So be sure to tune in the first and the third Thursday of every month. That's when we release new episodes. Other than that, Bill, is there anything that you have to take us home?
Well, I mean, I'll just say again, I appreciate you, Jeff, right, being a partner, right? And we love this partnership. And then we appreciate you coming on to the podcast and sharing with the community, right? This is important stuff. We grow because we educate our community, and our community gets stronger. And I know you know this. People aren't signing up in order to jump into hose distribution, right? As a young fella, you didn't say, "Hey, I really want to be in hose." It just happened, right? So how do we attract more people like you and your brother, right, to our family?
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Jeff. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody have a good. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. Thanks for tuning in.
And we hope you've gained some valuable insights on how to embrace digital transformation and stay ahead in the distribution industry.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Aldrich Web Solutions, for supporting this podcast. With over 20 years of experience, they've been helping distributors win online and maximize their digital presence. Be sure to check them out if you're ready to take your business to the next level.
And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And of course, share this with anyone who could benefit from this conversation.
We'll be back next time with more expert insights. And until then, keep evolving and embracing change.